Hi. So I was thinking about what soap I wanted to do this week, and then I was thinking cow print. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand mold some soap dough into the cow print, embed that into white soap base, and hope it turns out okay.
Okay, so first off, I'm just adding some sodium lactate to my lye water. Sodium lactate is basically just a liquid salt and it just makes the bar harder and last longer. Now, to create the base of the soap, I want to add a little bit of titanium dioxide with a little bit of oil, and I'll just get a really even, nice white base. Now, of course, you can dissolve titanium dioxide in water, and it does dissolve easier, but I just don't want any excess water in this batch. Now I'm just going to add the rest of the oil and blend it up. TD can take a lot of blending to fully incorporate, and I'm just adding it to the oil and blending it first to make sure I don't overblend when I add the lye water. Now it's finally time to add the lye water and the oils together and make some soap. Have to remember to always remove the bubbles before you start blending. Now you'll see here I'm going to have to blend a lot because these are quite weighty soap embeds, and I really don't want them to just all sink, so the soap needs to be able to hold them all up. It's at quite a decent trace now, and I'm just going to add my scent oil. This is apricot and it smells so good. It also has hints of passion fruit in the scent. It's such a good scent. And you'll see here the scent oil decelerated my soap batter, made it more liquidy again. Some scent oils will decelerate, some will accelerate, like it'll be a fine trace, and then you add the oil and suddenly it like seizes up and it's really hard and it's just ruined. Other ones will rice, where you just get little lumps, which you can sometimes blend out. I've never had that. My scent oils have always pretty much done nothing or decelerated a little bit, which might just be lucky on my part, but it might also just be where I get my scents from. They do tests to try and make sure the scent oils won't do terrible things to your batter. Now just continuing to blend, trying to get to a really thick, strong base. And we arrive at thick pudding. I was pretty sure that this would be thick enough to hold it up and not too thick that it's unworkable. I also soaped quite cold, so I'm not worried about this hardening up on its own too quickly. If you're unaware, heat really tends to accelerate. So this is what my embeds look like. You can see the shape. I was trying to get the classic cow print shape. So I made these out of black soap dough, which I made myself. And my plan was just to make one central, very classic cow print shape, and the rest will be smaller and not as detailed. And when they all come together, it should hopefully look like cow print. And so now here I'm just laying down the first base layer of soap. And the plan is to put one embed in, really try and make sure there aren't any bubbles around it, put some more soap base in, put another embed, and just work my way up and hope that it turns out. It's really hard not being able to actually know what it's going to look like. You have an idea in your head and you just hope that it turns out that way, and you don't know until you cut it. It's just so frustrating, but I have my design, I have my plan, I have faith it's going to turn out. How creamy and satisfying is this texture though of the soap base? Like, it just looks like the yummiest vanilla pudding. So yeah, if I used much warmer oils and lye, this wouldn't be possible. It would be setting up on me so much as I try and do this. Like, there really is merit in knowing what the right temperature to soap at is. So here's the main big embed. This one's such a weird shape. I was really worried about air bubbles around it. Just pack the soap base in, just do what you can, and you'll see when you cut it. And here comes the final embed, the final cow spot. And I'm just trying to really smooth out and flatten the top a lot. And here it is the next day. We can finally find out what the inside looks like. That's got to be one of the most frustrating things about making soap, just having to wait so long until you can finally cut it and see if your idea and your plan for the soap actually worked or not. And straight away I could see there are a couple bits just around the corners and the end of the embed where there are small air pockets, but when working with soap that's this thick and embeds like that, it's not surprising. The real worry is if there are going to be air bubbles around the embeds on the inside, which I really tried to avoid, and we can finally see the anticipation's always so strong. And here we go, the first look at the cow print soap. Oh, it looks so good. I think that totally looks like cow print. That worked out pretty much exactly like I wanted. I almost couldn't be more pleased with that. The one thing is I didn't think there'd be such a gap on one side. I thought the way I was placing the cow print, the lump of the main one would sort of fill in that gap. So on future runs, maybe I'll make like an extra spot. But apart from that, and I love that they're all unique and different, it really looks like cow print. So if you couldn't tell, I am very pleased with how this turned out. I think it just looks adorable, really looks like cow print. And this apricot scent oil really held up. Sometimes scent oils or fragrance oils will really change what they smell like once it goes through saponification, just with the heat and everything. They can degrade and not come out smelling the same. But this still smells exactly the same. It's such a good apricot scent. And through the entire bar, there was only one air bubble, and it wasn't even around any of the embeds. One bubble like that is still regrettable, and that's pretty good. I just can't overstate how these smell just as cute as they look. Like, that was a perfect scent choice. And once again, I apologize for the small cutter. Our new one is on the way, and maybe we'll do an unboxing and a review of the one that we get when it arrives. And there you have it. That's our cow print soap. It turned out pretty much exactly like I wanted. Pretty much nothing to change in future batches, which is always a plus. And this soap will be available in our next release mid-June. So if you want a piece, make sure you're there.